Okay, so hey, what's going on, missioners? Okay, so there is two types of experiences: unprepared experience and prepared experience. Most average people are having unprepared experience. Here's what that means. They are saying they went to do whatever. And let's just talk about money. Let's make it very simple. Let's talk about money. They say, this is gonna be so good. They say they know so much about money because they've paid bills, they've lived longer, and they've been hustling longer. And I'm going to tell you from my personal experience, these people aren't the wisest to learn from. When it comes to money, in this example, they say, oh, they know so much about money, but don't own no businesses, don't own no cash flow, don't own no real estate, not on the newest trends, have no digital presence, don't save any money. And all they're doing at best is taking action on their unconscious, what they think they know. Or, no, take it back. Or based on their ignorance. You feel me? Now, with experience cannot be activated without action. Hear me clearly. You need to take action to make experience wisdom, right? But you also can have prior knowledge to money. Here's what I'm doing that's going to change my life as far as income is concerned. Before income hits my pocket, I'm going to be prepared. Meaning I'm going to have principles, morals, and standards preconditioned in my mind. Meaning, like, in other words, if you're broke right now, some of the best things you can do about money is go learn about it. Go study it. Go get a book on how to save. On the great book is The Richest Man in Babylon. Let's say you're dead flat broke, and you read The Richest Man in Babylon, and you get a job, or you have a job. Let's not even say you get a job. You have a job, and you have a job, and when there's two of you who are going to get a paycheck on Friday, there's the unprepared person and there's the prepared person. The unprepared person is paying their bills just like you are. Just like you. But the prepaid person, no, let's even make it deeper. There's two of you who just got a job. Both broke. But when you prepare yourself for the past, when you've been preparing yourself for the past 30 days, reading, studying about money, thinking about abundance and all this other stuff, pre-money, pre-deposit into your bank account. When that check hits, you have a consciousness to make a difference in that check. Meaning, you don't have to say, oh, I'm going to go spend all my money and you're going to do all these bad, negative money habits. But, and then 5 years from now, we're going to get there yet. And then the unprepared person is telling a person, no, you ain't going to get there yet either. The unprepared person says, oh, when they get the check, they pay all their bills, which is not a bad thing, you know. They don't pay themselves. They don't save 10% of their income, etc., etc. They don't invest in no businesses. They don't invest in no skills. They don't invest in themselves. Whatever. They do exactly what the average person is doing with their check. And I wish I had this mindset when I had a job, right? Here's the thing. And then 5 years later, you quit the job, you have saved money, and you have a business bringing you in $5K a month. because you've been preparing, you've been studying, and the leverage of you may not need to go back because you read a book called The Richest Man in Babylon that says save 10% of your income and invest it, not with somebody who is just unqualified. Invest it with a skilled person who will bring you back an ROI. And the crazy part about what he says is that you don't spend the first investment. You spend the second ROI, the second piece of money that comes in. Now, the unprepared person says, there are no books out there on money. Money is hard to come by. What else do negative people say? Oh, you don't need to study money. I don't need to learn about money. I have a check coming in. And they swear that they're so much better than the next person. Or they're better than the person who doesn't have a job, but they're struggling from check to check. Now, this is just about money. I'm not going to get into any of the subjects. But if you apply that principle of prepared experience versus unprepared experience, but neither one of them, hear me clearly, are going to have a perfect experience with money. They're both going to fail. They're both going to go through hard times. They're both going to have challenges. But you can either have a prepared experience or an unprepared experience. That's what my life is teaching me over and over and over again. Have a prepared experience. Because I'm telling you from real life examples, like in my own personal, I can get to so many stories, bro. Opportunity has dropped in my lap. And I did two things. I fumbled it, or I made a vast amount of mistakes that were unnecessary because I did not prepare. I did not study. I did not learn. I did not grow. I did not in my waking hours learn what it takes to have X, Y, and Z. We can even go to women. If you want, as a man, I'm a heterosexual man. If I want the best of women, you can have an unprepared experience or a prepared experience. And here's what I mean by that. And now, of course, again, nothing, when I say nothing trumps action, not experience, nothing trumps action, meaning nothing is activated. Experience doesn't come because you're sitting there and learning. Of course not. That's foolish. But the person who gets wise counsel, wise counsel reads, studies, learns, get mentors, may treat women totally different than the guy who's just going out there throwing his hook out there. You know what came to my mind? I thought, I envisioned myself, not even myself, I envisioned something just now where somebody told me or told somebody, I'm glad you came to me before you started throwing yourself out there. And it's not that you shouldn't. You shouldn't take action. Again, you should. I'm an Aries cusp. I'm born for that. I take all sorts of action. And let me tell you the mistake Aries makes in that. Let me tell you something that squares with Capricorn. Meaning they go head to head with Capricorn. Capricorn says, why don't you have a prepared experience? Why do you gotta always put your head in? Why you always gotta dive off the bridge? Why you always gotta jump off the ledge and say, oh, I'm gonna figure it out? And Capricorn is like, why do you gotta do that? There's a ledge right there that will prepare you on the level you can so you don't hurt yourself. But Aries gotta be like, believe me, I do this. They just, I'm going to jump in and go a whole bunch of life experience and like fuck your ass up. And Capricorn and Aries both meet to the same destination, But the Capricorn sometimes, especially because Capricorn, they say, contributes more to the world, or one of the signs that contributes the most to the world. They say that the Capricorn, that's why as much as I don't like Capricorn's behavior, I have so much respect. I have so much respect for him, like a mature Capricorn. Like, even though it aggravates the fuck out of me when Capricorns always feel like, oh, I got a plan. Yo, long term, I respect the shit out of them. Every Capricorn I met would not fucking budge unless they planned it out. It was well thought out what the fuck they did. I'll give you a very clear example. One of my mentors, Shalina Diva, is a Taurus. Like I said, I'm an Aries Taurus cusp. She's a full-blown Taurus. When I tell you she don't deliver unless she plans, do you know that woman scales 40,000 in 6 months? 50,000 in 6 months? And then disappears? I'm like, big goals. Do you know how much planning that takes? From content to email list to all of that. It's a plan. You feel me? It's a plan. It's prepared experience. She can project all she wants. Because remember, both of us can have, oh, I'm going to set this goal and I'm going to make this money. But one of us got a plan, one of us don't. One of us is going to have prepared experience. That doesn't mean, again, you're not going to have challenges. But the wisest of men, she scaled, when I told her how to do stuff on Instagram, she scaled so fast. Because she had me, which was the traffic, paying every month. And she had the plan. An Aries like me said, fuck your plan. I'm telling you, do your best, and it takes a lot of discipline. I say that because I'm weak at it. It takes a lot of discipline to have planned experiences, prepared experiences. That does not mean everything's going to go according to plan. Of course not. That's stupid. It's foolish. Just think everything's going to go according to plan. Of course not. But the person who is prepared and planned, again, they even say stuff like, you want to make my guy laugh? Tell him your plan. But without the esoteric understanding, because sometimes that's a little scary. That means nothing goes according to plan. You feel me? That's a little scary. But because my Chiron is in Virgo, I think the Virgos are probably the best planners. What a Taurus taught me is she scales because she has a plan. And you know what else? She doesn't go outside of the jurisdiction of her plan. And here's what that means. That doesn't mean that because everything has to go as she planned, but she has principles, morals, standards that no matter what, these are her standards. No matter what, how like bend, these are her principles. A lot of adults have unprepared experience. That's why so many adults hit a plateau and they're regular. It's not a plan. Now again, you can always plan all you want, and then life turns the way it turns. But that doesn't mean throw away the plan. Throw away the set mindset. And I'm gonna tell you ahead of time, I manifested this where I'm at in my life right now. It didn't go according to the plan, but the outline of the plan never changed. When I said to my best friend years ago, my ex-best friend years ago, yo, I'm gonna make money online. When I was 17, 18 years old. It didn't go how I wanted it, but it happened. And You know what's crazy about having a plan? The universe often drops like a confirmation to your plan. And it's not about being ready, it's about being willing. Because if you really serious about, yo, this is when I want to make this type of money, what are you willing to do about it? And it'll show you a confirmation to say to you, and sometimes a confirmation means an opportunity. Are you serious about the plan that you talked about? So, of course, everything doesn't go to plan. I want to reiterate that. Everything doesn't go according to plan. But to say, or preparation, let me not say that. But to say, you should be unprepared for these 20. Okay. To say you must be unprepared for these 20-year commitments, these 30-year commitments, is foolish. To say you must just go head first and say, oh, I'm gonna go just get experience. I mean, that's cool, but it helps for somebody to help you with your learning curve. Because remember, with the thing that the unprepared experience doesn't tell you, there's a huge learning curve. Huge. And before it even makes you profitable or in a good place, you gotta fail a lot. Now, of course, both experiences you gotta fail a lot. But you fail less when you're prepared. You get what I mean? Like, if you know what it means to be a wife, a mother. No, this is talk about money. If you know what it's like from, let's say, 10 to 18 to be an entrepreneur. No, to be self-employed. By the time you're 18 and you ready to run your first corporation, meaning hire people, etc., etc., because you may be in school, so you may not have the time to run a corporation. So you're just doing a small self-employed business, right? Until you say, when you turn 18, so and you graduate high school and stuff, I'm ready because I had the knowledge, I had the time to study, and I had the time to learn from due to my knowledge and due to my experience what I'm planning, what I got to do. I'm telling you, it's super important because it takes a lot of discipline. That's the thing. That's the cap. 40-year-old people will tell you a lot about unprepared experience. And that's a scary position when they can only tell you, from what I said earlier in this video, about the experience and knowledge that they gained because they did not know. So that really means you're playing catch up. Don't sleep on that now. You're playing catch up because you don't know. So let's say by the time you're 21, let's say you get a job, let's say you don't even run a business. By the time you're from 10 to 20 years old, you have a job, no, let's not even say 10, from 16, it's that's more reasonable. 16 to about 20, you have a job, You learn how to save money. You're reading. You're studying. And more importantly, here's the quantum leap of life. You have mentors. You have mentors. And by the time you're 21, you're either two things. You're either making a lot of money or you're egregiously prepared. Like your mind is on the next level. Because you have a great relationship with money. You know how to save. You know how to, let's say you made small investments in the stock market and you learn how to, no, let's say you got a small salesman job on the weekends. And by the time it's time to sell your own shit, you already know how to beat rejection. And you know what's good? Let me give you an example of that. Beautiful. You know what somebody told me a couple years ago? She said, why don't you go get a salesman job? A car salesman job. And I said, why? And she said, it will prepare you for the sales you have now. You're trying to get now. Prepared experience. So when I go from car salesman to selling higher ticket items online, because you know why? Because she said, I used to sell high ticket items over the phone. And that's what prepared me for real estate. It was just basically the same ideal. So I'm telling you, have the discipline. And it's hard to have prepared experience. No matter where you learn it from. The internet, books, other people's experiences. Let me tell you something. It's unwise to say the only time I learn is from my experience. The only time I learn is from my experience. That is stupid. Believe me. You can get so ahead because you learn from other people's experience. That is something I live. That ain't no philosophy for me. I'm ahead of my time in many regards because I learned from other people's failures. I made videos on that years ago. It dawned on me while I was walking. I'm where I am because, and I think how I think because I saw how people were doing it. I said, whoa, that ain't for me. Skirt. I saw the patterns with people my age. Skirt. We're not doing that. So to think you only need your experience, it's important to have it, but it's not the only way to learn. And again, what I call wisdom is knowledge plus experience. But I don't believe you should just have experience and that's what makes you wise. That's especially your experience. Because your experience is subjective. Or it's subjective and it may not even be true. It is based on unconscious knowledge. So you become, it is based on unconscious incompetence. And all I tell people is you got to go from unconscious incompetence to unconscious competence. And when you tell people to rise above their unconscious incompetence, especially people over 40, they end up feeling like you're triggered. I tell a lot of 40-year-olds, you got to undo that. You got to undo this. Oh, when I have when you do making 20-year commitments like family, money, you're going to spend your whole life trying to get this thing we call money. You never picked up a book on it? Here's what I thought to myself earlier. You mean to tell me you can treat your boss better than you treat your bae? Your woman, your spouse? You can prepare on how you're going to treat and learn, study, observe how to treat your boss, but you won't do that for your woman or your man. You can treat your customers because you learn how to customer service, right? You got to learn that stuff, business or employee. But you won't study to treat your children better? Make it make sense. You'll learn for your job, but you won't learn for your family? You'll study for 10 years how to become a doctor, but you won't study for 3 months on how to become a dad? Make it make sense. And neither is going to be perfect, whether you are prepared or unprepared. But I'm telling you, the richest of us are studying. The richest of us are the wealthiest of us. Fuck rich, my nigga. The wealthy of us have counsel, books, learning. It is only poor. I'm telling you, bro. It's only poor people who say, I don't gotta learn, but I'm gonna go get some unprepared experience. It's only poor people. And I'm done with it.